Today we have
Your mama.
exactly. What up, guys? We're on our way
To Arby's.
to Arby's. I'm going to get me some roast beef classic with some large fry and
Large curly fry.
a large curly fry at that.
Alright, we're gonna head back to the shop after this and start tearing apart a steering rack for a 300ZX.
Yes, sir.
We're gonna be converting it to a manual steering rack.
That's right, which means no power steering, ladies and gentlemen. Double roast beef classic. Just the sandwich.
It's his go-to. Or can you give me a small Sprite, medium Sprite?
And
We got a 1990 300ZX that I've been working on for the past
century.
5 years. Hopefully we can get it going.
All right, guys, so we just made it back to the shop. Tristan and I will leave a description of links and whatnot of what parts these are if you guys are out there and you want some of this. If you don't, all right, guys, so we are at the work table right now.
We gotta start by taking off all the lines.
This is the dry shaft. So Tristan, explain to us what sizes we got on these lines here.
3 different ones. This one, these are 17s, that's a 14, and that's 15, 16s. It fits, so we're using it.
We're gonna take all these lines off.
Hopefully don't make a mess. Alrighty, this is a 12.
12er. She's quiet till I got.
Nothing to it but to do it. Around. Quarter ton at a time.
I live my life a quarter turn at a time. All right, so he's got the lines off. If you guys are gonna be doing this, there's a solenoid right there. I forgot exactly what I did, but
What the fuck is that?
but I don't know if we're just gonna put it back on, block it off.
but you do no longer need this part here if you're going to be converting this into a manual. Next, he's going to remove these boots. Boots of the diamonds, my cuz.
Walk at this. Oh yeah.
And that's something.
It's still good, but
Look at that. That's some nice grease.
gonna get this clip off right here. Ooh, let's fit it in there.
Press fitted, you see there?
Well, one moment. Small pick would be wonderful.
Alright.
Tape break 2 screwdrivers. Try doing it the right way. Be nice with it.
Was not willing to work with him. So, while you're doing this, try what you like at your own risk.
You could just also bend these back and then fold them back over. But we got new ones. Got a big pipe wrench. Take the inner tie rod off. Inner tie rod tool would be much easier, but this was free.
You guys should like, comment, and subscribe.
Big old pipe wrench on there. I need you to come hold this down. Straddle that thing.
Man.
Oh yeah. Not too sure on what size this is, but it's size pipe wrench. Tightening it, be a different story.
You see the way he did that there?
Clip slides right off afterwards.
Bam.
Next, if if you wanted to reuse these clips, so all you have to do is just hammer those back down. Don't recommend bust that pipe wrench again.
Yeah.
Oh, here it is. We're talking on this side.
2,000 years later.
Did you get it?
Yeah. Yeah, right there.
What size is that, Tristan?
That is a 5.
A 5 in Allen.
Alright, we're going to keep this 2 O-rings. So I believe we could just get a block off plate and put it over that. We'll see. Power steering hard lines. Took tie rods off. Just took that solenoid off. Now I gotta take the pinion housing off. And yeah, go from there.
Hell yeah.
Was that a first try?
Yes, it was. 5/16, but it needs to be. An 8. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 point. We're just gonna try this 12-point socket, see how she works. Oh yeah, beautiful. Take this big bad boy off.
That's a big boy.
Yes, it is. Be right back. I'm gonna go surface. Got 2 more options.
All right. So what'd you resort to?
Old trustees. There's a little indention right there.
Oh, there is.
Yeah, it looks like it's kind of. Is it working good? Never done anything like this before.
That's what she said. But she's lying.
Oh. Holy shit. That right there, we're gonna drill out.
All right, guys. So it is the next day, but we're back today, ready to move and groove.
So, you gotta drill that out. And now, no more struggle. We did catch some threads, but that's okay. You can see we got the first top few. We did have to sand this down because it is threaded right there, but it's all good.
Make sure when you're sanding it, you don't got any, if you have to deal with this, make sure you don't got any like teeth
Burrs.
inside of there, like bending down inside of it, because it will destroy your threadage.
We are going to take this off, which is a little confusing because that should be a 12mm nut right there, or bolt. It's not on this one.
It's
So
a
first,
fat star key.
we have to loosen up this.
Lock nut.
Yep.
Apparently, this is how we adjust the tension on it, if I'm correct.
Yep. On the
Now-
shaft itself. Got some good old trusty, probably not trusty, but
Yeah, the Harbor Freight Special on the,
this is a 38mm.
and this is massive.
It's a 1/2-inch drive, but it works. Resistance. Put the Doritos down. There we go.
That wasn't too shabby.
Now,
Now we just got a line for where to put it.
and we will count the revolutions. Hopefully one of these are big enough.
And looking, oh no.
These are wrong. Got a 12. All right.
So we goofed. Do not get this.
But from the looks of it, it's an 18mm.
The Harbor Freight Special didn't come through.
It was only $30, so it's not that big of a deal.
Mission failed. We'll get them next time.
The auto parts store, Home Depot, Menards, Baumgars, Even the Snap-on guy didn't have anything.
Well,
I found a broken chisel. It's actually a little scraper, but
but we got it to work.
because these aren't really tight since they just hold tension down and they have that locking ring, but right there it comes out. That's where it needs to go back in roughly. Yep, pop that hole out. I'm not convinced that this is native to the car. Mark this side.
That's how you know it'll be.
Just so we'll have it pointing in that direction. That way if there's any like wear on this, it's not all.
So that was a headache and a half. But
It's
we're
an
here.
understatement.
All right, that pulled out fairly easy.
Yeah. Okay, we're gonna try and leave all these seals in place.
Oh, it's juicing hard.
Got it?
Yep. So it's pulled out. It has.
This, I believe the seal was catching. We're gonna try and reuse the seal and keep it. But we need to eliminate this.
And what is that there, Tristan?
That is just whatever. The fluid to turn left or right, the hydraulic pressure will push on this, I believe, and then it'll take back from this side. And then
Vice versa.
Yeah.
It pushes.
like this.
Because everything about the steering column, excuse me, drive shaft, it is day 3. We had finally, with some effort, got this out. And now we're taking a look at this piece of junkie.
Yeah, we gotta cut that off.
Oh no!
What happened?
Sorry about that. So, there is a little, what is that, like a lock?
I don't know, some kind of clip.
Some kind of clippy. If you want to fondle with that to get this out, I believe, in theory, if you find a way to pop that out, you can slide this whatever way.
But we had no luck with that.
Yeah, we had no luck with that, so we are going to demolish it.
Cut it with grind.
There we go.
Yeah.
There's a little lip right here. Just the
nicked it.
smallest.
I'll nick it with the grind.
Oh, God.
It's okay then.
A little lip, so you're gonna have to do what we did. Unable to get that out because
That's easier to cut both sides.
definitely just be
Right
mindful.
now.
Be mindful where you're cutting. You don't want to destroy your lightsaber.
Right now, get some stuff cleaned up and we will reassemble.
All right, so we got our area cleaned up here a little bit, so we could show you guys what comes of this.
Hammer I've been looking for every time I decide I need a hammer. We'll wipe down again. I'll wipe this area down too. We'll apply some fresh grease. I don't think I'm gonna worry too much about inside of here. It's because it's just lubed up already. I just it's just wheel bearing grease.
We did a little bit of research. It doesn't really matter. The one thing we did point out is make sure it's NLGI. With
If it works to pack wheel bearings.
it's got to work.
Exactly.
Color. Yeah,
I feel that bad boy.
I ain't feeling it, but
And grease the shaft.
grease the shaft. Yeah. Finding the hole is always hard after you grease the shaft.
Normally it's easier.
Oh, slid right in, as it should.
And another thing to note, there is, I'm not sure what it's called, but it's big silver. I mean, if you go on like Z1 or something for a rebuild kit, you'll see what it is. But that, if you're rebuilding this and you want to be a little more anal about it, you
Definitely.
can punch it out this way. But there's certain guidelines you got to follow, per se, instructions to get it out properly, but we don't need to.
We do a manual.
Yep.
what is the biggest priority in this is the lube we fill this hog with.
And I have seen where people will just empty the fluid and just jump a line from this side to this side. So when there's no fluid in there,
Yeah.
it can't fight each other to press. So when there's air, it just pushes air instead, and they say it's lubed up good enough already, but
At your own risk.
yeah, exactly.
That was some greasage.
Just,
Bam.
I am going to pack this bearing right here because there's not going to be any power steering fluid to lube it up. And then this, there we go. Seal up around here. Get all that chunky grease off that.
Bling.
Then there's bearings up here, in here too. I'm gonna pack that full of grease as well. And then I didn't worry about replacing the seals really in here because there's no power steering fluid, so I'm not worried about it leaking.
There's really no point to it.
Yeah, that's how it goes because the solenoid will be lined up with that.
Right. Perfecto.
Throw the seal back on this side, and that should just shove up in there, and it should stop. We did get rid of the pipe wrench.
We got ourselves a real Glock.
Alrighty.
We did decide that we were just gonna stick with the solenoid. Putting it back on. There's no harm in it. I'm sure it won't be too hard to find you a black off if
Or make your own.
you so desire. Even better, make your own, custom.
And for right here, that indentation that was there, we're gonna go ahead and get a punch and punch it back down again so this can't come loose. So as before, a little Sharpie mark. I just had pointing in the same direction that I pulled it off. Little metal magnet thing in the spring. There's 2 washers. You want to put those in the same orientation that you pulled them out. This thing I still don't like.
No.
So again, the mark where it came up and all the threads were loose.
Start there.
Start there, push down, and then we should have 7 rotations.
There we go.
And now we shall put
Lock.
the lock ring
Nut.
back on. Let's hold this where it is.
Bam. Perfect.
For some reason, I don't know if we already talked about it or not yet, but this ain't normal.
This is not normal. Let's elaborate on that.
That should, from factory, it should be a 12 millimeter bolt that's on there, or just a head. They just put a socket on, and you can hold it, unscrew it.
We searched all of our local stores. We still could not find anything. We ended up having to resort into this special thing.
Get a
But
big flathead, or
something that could fit between those teeth.
I want to say a T75 6-point Torx would work too. Because this is an 8-point
Double square.
double square, whatever. Never heard of that, but
Me neither.
first time for everything. I did order just a cheap seal kit off of Rock Auto because I wasn't too sure what I was going to need, but I knew I wasn't going to need all the seals or those specific seals from Z1. And you can get any O-ring that's the same size. It doesn't really matter. They all do the same thing. And I already got grease on my hands, but I never like putting O-rings in dry.
So get the solenoid back on.
This also ain't an OEM solenoid either.
No, it ain't.
Tell, there's 3 bolt holes, and I only got 2. There's a few things on this.
Yeah.
So we gotta do some research.
But now we know.
But now we know. And so you know. But first time doing it too, so had no idea what we were getting into. Just watched a few videos, looked a few things up. Not many videos on these ones, so.
This is your gold mine. Okay, so these things.
Oh, don't even get me started.
So, if you guys happen to, well, if you're watching this video, you're gonna run into this issue. Now,
The banjo bolts for the power steering lines, these hard lines. I don't know what it is, but nowhere likes to carry metric thread gauge pitches. So we couldn't find anything anywhere. I mean, we did find some bolts that we were going to plan on cutting down to make work, and then, but this one, let me just give you guys the sizes. Goes, where is this big one? Yep, that goes here. Is a 16 by 1.5. Good luck. This one here is a 14 by 1.5. This one is a 12 by 1. Both of these. And then if you want to, like what we're going to do, we're going to put a grease zerk right here to pump this full of grease and to keep it maintained.
which is this, if you guys don't know?
But we couldn't find any of the right sizes either because I didn't want to have to strip threads out or cross thread anything. These are also the same, 12 by 1, that one and this one. So we're going to put a block off bolt in there and then just use this one to fill with grease, pump it with the gun. And then we're also going to get the same plugs for here and here. And
Right.
I found them on Amazon and they're pretty nice looking. So we will link those.
Get them all shown,
Yeah.
take care of.
Another thing that this did not have. Normally these have a plastic alignment clip, I believe. These are just the dust boots. I think the old one's right here. New one. I guess there's some way that this aligns.
Somehow.
I don't fully understand that, but from,
The,
I mean, it's just a dust boot.
yeah, as good as it can get.
Yeah.
Like,
There's some other plastic clip that goes on here that straddles.
in.
Yeah.
not 100% sure, but I don't think you need to worry too much about that.
And what we will go over too really quick is if you ever want to center the rack itself, so where, you know, I mean, I just read people have concerns about it, but to me, it makes sense. You throw this on, you straighten your tires, get those straight, put your wheels straight in the car, and then you just hook the shaft back on this. So it makes sense to me, so I don't know if it's something I'm missing or what, but I read a lot of people saying they want to be able to center their rack. You turn it that way, mark it. There's a little notch right here that you can use as an indicator. Little notch right there. So you push it all the way that way where that notch is, mark it, then you count your rotations when you push it the other way, and you can mark it, and then you spin it half of those rotations and it's centered.
So, let's say
Does that make sense to you?
this is like 12 over here, 12 over there, you go 6 to meet in the middle.
Correct, and then that would be centered. Inner outer tie rods.
Look at that, people. A package.
Concept Z had Mevotech ones or like Stop Tech ones also. And I realized when I ordered ball joints from them before, from Z1, or not Z1, Concept Z, they came from Rock Auto, and I looked at the price difference, and it was like $20 cheaper for a single ball joint.
And they came from the same place.
And they came from the same place. So essentially, I did the same thing with the tie rods because it would have came from Rock Auto to begin with.
You just went straight to the source itself.
Yes, and I got their most expensive ones.
We don't play.
Comparison, same exact thing, same size. Yeah. Now another thing this rack did not have were, you just grab the old one. When you put this on, boom, boom, clip, there's a seal that goes right here. This rack did not have that.
No.
So I'm just going to throw these on, even though it's not the end of the world, because the main thing that keeps the fluid in here are the seals inside the rack. I did have to do some research on these, and I did find that a lot of people were saying that they're mainly just some kind of spacers for your steering. So you might have some oversteer or off steering if you don't have these in place. Don't know how true that is, but
There she goes.
they should be there from factory, so I'm going to put them back.
We're figuring it out for the people.
For the people. We'll assemble these, get them to the same length as these ones. Come up. Put these together, get them very close in length. That way it's not too crazy when it goes in for an alignment. You can see these have little guides right there that are indented in. Bust out the Dremel. There's springs inside here. Those go always point towards the lubrication, grease. These are the tie rod boots. Now for the outer tie rods to head and got SPL. A little bougie there.
Always.
Worry about these later, but go ahead and show you these. Yep, slides in there.
Throw X amount of spacers.
Yeah.
I'm sure it'll defer based on maybe your vehicle. I don't know.
So we will refer to the instructions for these. Okay, so I mean, pretty much the manual conversion is done. It is done, but just throwing that out there. Now it's just reassembly. This is what you punch that down so it locks that clip in.
Ka-ching.
And a little overboard right there.
Sound good?
Okay. Look at it with some light. We need some more lighting in here.
Oh no, that's actually
Oh
pretty
yeah,
good.
good.
It's true. Friday's slow. I know you hate the weather. Don't you know? It's true. Don't you know? I just can't make it until
This has been something.
Yes.
But glad we did it still. It was a pain, but it's a learning experience. Absolutely. Not done yet.
the world's great. Friday's slow. I know you hate the weather. Don't
One
you
side
know?
complete.
Nah, it's rinse and repeat.
Another thing to note that there's no left, right, right, left. You just put them together, slap them on
They're universal.
for sides, yep.
No zip tie baby end with baby zip tie.
I'm really glad because it was fun. Yeah, kind of.
It was fun.
It was fun.
It was fun.
It was very fun.
All right, guys. So we got some stuff in.
Oh, we just got our bolts. Ordered those online.
We couldn't find them anywhere, as you guys seen, but
They were hard to find in stores. We couldn't, so we had to order some. But so we got that one, or those two. And they're really nice. I'm really happy with how it turned out. So we're gonna be putting the grease zerks here and right here. But other than that, she's all done. Painted her.
clean.
Looks really nice.
So this has been quite the journey with this, but we have it complete. I'd say you guys have learned from our mistakes.
And so have we.
Yes, we got it done.
It was really, I don't know, it was really intimidating at first, but once you start getting into it, it's a little easier and more
Accessible to the
Yeah.
mind.
Yes, exactly.
It does get easier over time. It's very intimidating at first when you see all that stuff kind of come apart like a Lego that's shattered. Yeah, that's how you do the manual
steering.
swap
Yep.
to the steering rackage. Like, comment, and subscribe as always.